All right, so we need to create our grungy text first. And you can see what the grungy text looks like on this image right here. And I can make all these other layers invisible here. So you can see the grungy text. This is just the text alone, right here. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. And now go into the Adobe Bridge or the file browser. And I want you to open up this image that you see right here, 804991. And again, I kept the original numbers for these images. That way, if I wanted to see who the original photographer was, I can go ahead and look this up with this number here and figure that out to give proper credibility and stuff like that. But we're going to use this image right here, which is a picture of, we have a big hotel and we're on a beach here, and here's a pier. I like the lines and everything, so I decided to use this photo. I'm going to go ahead and just double click on this. And it doesn't have to be anything special. You don't have to be too picky when it comes to the photo. As long as you have a lot of lines and, as long as it has some detail in the photo. In other words, if you're just using like a sky or something like that, it's not going to you're not going to get that real grungy look, and the edges aren't going to be, all that, the grain and the texture is just really not going to come out unless you have a photo that has a lot of stuff going on, like this does here. Okay? All right, so I'm going to bring this over to our image here. And you can see, well, it's pretty small. So it's a lot smaller than our 8.5 by 11 here. So what I'm going to do is go over here to Edit and Free Transform. And let's hold down Alt and Shift, and I will just resize this up like this to fit the page. Now don't worry about resampling or anything like that, because we don't need the quality of this photo. The quality of the photo is not very important. We just need to get this large enough to fill the entire screen here. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that by pressing the Enter key on the keyboard. There we go. And I'll go ahead and just zoom into it. I don't need this photo here, so I'll go ahead and just close that out. But let's go ahead and zoom into the image. I'll come over here and just rename this layer to Beach. And let's come over here to Image. And down here to Adjustments. And over here to Threshold. Okay. And you can see now we just have the image down to black and white. But what we're going to do is slide this threshold slider to the left. What you want to do is get the image so you're showing more white than you are black. Just so, in other words, you can bring this all the way over to the left, and then you can work your way back real slowly, bringing back some of the details. You see that? So you could stop right here, and that would be really good. Now, something like this, this wouldn't be that good because there's too many big solid patches of color, or there's too many big solid patches of black. So we need to get those details in there like this to make this work. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I think I'll just go ahead and click OK. Great. And we can zoom in here to see how this looks. It's nothing special. Okay, and I'll go ahead and zoom out. Now let's create the type, and you can use any font, anything you want. I'm just going to come over here and select the horizontal type tool. I'm going to click on the image, and let's just set a color for this type. It could really be anything. I'm just going to select a black or something like that, or better yet, I'll just select a dark green so you can see it a little bit better. And great, and then we'll just type out grunge. And I'll press enter, and then I'll go up here to Edit, Free Transform, and I'll just hold down the Shift key when I'm doing that. Let me try that one more time. So I'll go up here to Edit, down here to Free Transform, and I'll hold down the Shift key, and by doing that, the text here will retain its aspect ratio. Now I know a lot of you already know that, but just for those of you that don't, I wanted to put that in there. But I'm just going to move this grunge text over here, over where I think that I would like the grunge to be applied to the text. And see the patches of black, and they're too bulky down here at the bottom. But I like how this looks behind here. If you look behind the text, you see it looks like there used to be trees there in the photo, and it really has a very splattered, blotchy kind of look. I don't know. And so I'm just going to go ahead and use that for the effect. So I'm going to lay this text right over an area on the photo that I feel that has the coolest looking abstract texture there. And then what I'll do is go ahead and press the Enter key on the keyboard. Great. Now after you have the text just like you want it, what you must do is rasterize the layer. So just come over to the layer and right click somewhere on the layer, and you will get a little menu that pops up, and you can select rasterize type from that menu. Or what you can do is come over here to layer and come down here to, where is it, rasterize, and select type from this menu. So you can do it both ways. And so that way, what that means is that this layer here is no longer, I mean, we can't edit the type after we've rasterized the layer. We've disregarded all the vector information and everything. So once we've rasterized it, if we want to resize it later, well, we either have to turn it into a smart object or something like that. And now what we're going to do, click back on the beach layer right here. Okay. And then come over here to the magic wand tool. And what you want to do is click on the black somewhere. Okay, so, and you can barely see my crosshair. It's really small. There, you could probably see it a little bit better. You can switch back and forth between the magic wand tool icon and the crosshair by pressing the caps lock key on the keyboard. You see how that switches back and forth? And so get that magic wand and click on the black portion of the photo in the back here. That should select all the black in the beach layer. If you don't have the contiguous option unchecked, then what it's going to do, it's just going to select the black in one area. So you want that black to be selected throughout the entire photo. So you must uncheck the contiguous option. Now, if I undo that and then press back on that black, you can see it will select all the black in that photo on our beach layer here. Okay. All right. So this is what you want. Then what we're going to do is click on the grunge layer here, the grunge type layer, and then make that beach layer here invisible. Then all we have to do is press the delete key on the keyboard, and that's it. I can come over here to select, deselect. Check it out. And you can see wherever you place that text on the photo layer that we applied the threshold to, wherever you place it on that photo, you're going to get a different result with the texture and the type of grunge you get to the text. So pretty self-explanatory, pretty common sense there.